So a lot of people have been asking me to do a review of Godzilla versus Kong, and that's understandable. I mean, not that many big movies have come out since this whole COVID thing started. The only one of any note I can think of would be Tenet, and there's not really anything else. I'm sure there's some other like smaller independent movies, but nothing that really sticks out as a blockbuster. And we had a bunch of blockbusters that were going to come out, like, I guess a year to a year and a half ago, like No Time to Die, Dune, A Quiet Place 2. I'm sure there's some other Marvel movies or whatever that I'm forgetting about. But there really hasn't been much. And apparently, people aren't satisfied with me doing reviews of avant garde art films like The Hip Hop Witch, and they want something a little bit more contemporary. So when I heard it's coming out, I'm like, I might as well go see it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My review of this probably whenever I get to watch it, which will probably be tonight, but this is probably not going to be great. I don't like the MonsterVerse. I don't like monster movies. They just don't really appeal to me. I don't really have much interest in them. I'm just kind of curious because this is, I don't know if it's a remake or it's just a spiritual successor to the original Godzilla versus King Kong, which is, I think, regarded as one of the best monster movies of all time. And I just like watching movies. And I'm like, oh, I'll just get out of the house and go see it. But I can't. I'm not legally allowed to go see the movie because the movie theaters are closed. And the way, like, the asinine way things work in Ontario is every region has like its own policies, and then you have the provincial government which has its own policies that differ for each region. So when the movie theaters are open, and they're occasionally open in the province, there's different rules in Toronto, Halton, Peel, and York region, and I think Ottawa. Just some of the more larger urban regions have a completely different set of rules than the rest of the province. So they might open theaters in like Waterloo or Kitchener or Sudbury or something, but they won't be open in southern Ontario. So I legally can't go see this movie in theaters. And then I was looking into it and like, okay, so this is going to be the new thing where you can't go see movies in theaters. And I know people are, a lot of my fans don't like Hollywood, and I understand why. And a lot of people will say things like, well, Argent, it's a small price to pay you not being able to go see movies if we prevent people's deaths. Yeah, but my point is like, we're at a point where we can't enjoy like really basic things. Like a while back, I complained that went to the mall and I wanted to buy a fucking ice cream cone and walk around and look at the stores, and I'm not allowed to do that. And it's just like really basic things in life you just are illegal. And the movie theaters being closed is bullshit because I've been to movie theaters whenever they've been open during COVID. It's way safer in a movie theater than just about anywhere else because you have this massive room. They're only at like 20% capacity. They have way more than 2 meters distance between the different people sitting in the movie theater. If you compare that to walking down a sidewalk in Toronto or some other urban center where people are just like right next to you and they're way closer. Also in cinemas, they like disinfect everything, they wipe everything down. It feels a lot safer to me, honestly, than a lot of places on the street. But we can't do that. Now, they can send kids to school, and that's okay. So, kids sitting in tight proximity to each other, doing what kids do, like wiping their noses on stuff, picking their noses, rubbing it on their desk, chewing and spitting gum, all that disgusting stuff that kids do. That's okay. That doesn't spread COVID. But a movie theater that with like 20 people in it who are like 6 meters or more apart, we can't have that. That's wrong. So I can't go see it in theaters. I'm just not allowed to. So the question is, where do you can you watch Godzilla versus Kong? And this is the F slurs who run the movie industry have come up with. Somebody said I should call them cigarettes or cigs because I'm not allowed to say F slur on YouTube, but I kind of like saying F slur, so I might just go with that. So, this is an article. Where can I watch Godzilla versus Kong? And I think it says something that I even need to look this up. It's a fucking blockbuster, big movie, and I can't even, like, I have to look up a fucking article and where to see it. Godzilla, okay, so let's see here. Although Warner Brothers initially indicated the film would only be available in theaters in Canada, despite continued widespread cinema closures in most of the country, by March 25th. So March 25th is like, I guess 3 days or no, that was 6 days before it came out. So they've been saying that for months and then they just changed their mind at the last minute. How would people even know? Like, I'd imagine all the advertising said only in theaters. I don't know. Both in theaters were open and premium on demand PVOD digital rental. Okay, PVOD is that's one of the most G slur things I've ever heard. Premium video on demand. Just call it like pay per view. Just call it pay per view. That's what it's called. Streaming service is generally speaking like you pay a membership fee and then you get access to the catalog. Pay per view is generally speaking the term. The premium thing is just a G slur thing that they add in to make it sound fancy, and it's because they're massive F slurs. Okay, so according to this Warner Brothers page, Godzilla vs. Kong is now available to rent through the following retail slash providers. Now, some of these, it just isn't. I've looked at it. Okay, here's Amazon Prime Video. It's not available in Canada, so they just lied about that on their official web page. Unless it's like only available in parts of Canada. I don't know. By the way, HBO Max doesn't exist in Canada. I'm just going to come out and say it. It's only in the United States. They have some tenuous relationship with Crave, which is one of the most G-slur names for streaming service I've ever heard. But so if I go to Apple TV, so I selected Canada, only available on HBO Max. Where does it say that? But there is no HBO Max in Canada. So why is it like... Why is it telling me to go to something that doesn't exist? Okay, so far, a third of their streaming options don't work. Okay, we have Cineplex Store, which is $26. Microsoft Movie, that is $25. And then we have on YouTube Ultra HD, which is the G slur name they've come up with of things that are above HD. Like, just call it fucking HD. We know what HD is. You can just say 1080p, 720p, 4K, 2K, whatever you want to call it. Don't give us this nonsense of like Ultra HD or Super Ultra HD. But it's, yeah, so if you want to see Godzilla vs. Kong, it's $25 Canadian. Now in Canada, at least the last time I recall, a movie ticket's something like $15, I think. It's kind of hard to determine exactly how much it is because I have a scene card, which gives you basically a dollar back on any movie you purchase, and then I purchase it with like my Scotia Scene card, so that gives me like another dollar back. So I don't ever really pay full price to go see a movie. Okay, I looked it up. I'm pretty sure it's $15 a ticket. Okay, so $15 a ticket, and then we have this is $10 more than that, and it's bullshit. It's fucking retarded. It's so fucking G-slur. So let's just think about this a minute. Let's just take a step back. Okay, so it's $15 to go see it in a movie theater. So when you go to see it in a movie theater, you get this massive screen. You see it in like 8K or 16K or whatever it is on the big screen. You got surround sound. You got like just this amazing experience you get going to see a film in the theater. And especially for a movie like Godzilla versus Kong, that's really worthwhile. I know, like going to see Blade Runner in the new Blade Runner in theaters, that really helped it because that's such a visually stimulating movie with such a great soundtrack. Aquaman kind of sucked, but the movie was a lot better by seeing it in theaters with the just given the visuals and the scope of it. This is a movie, obviously, when you have giant monsters, that surround sound in a big HD screen is good. So you're paying for that, and you're paying for the costs associated with that. So you're paying for the building, the staff in the building, the equipment, all that kind of thing. And that's $15. Now, to watch it on your own TV, and you might have an HD TV, I have a 4K TV, and you can watch it there, but that's like what, 40 inches? Like, it's, if you're lucky, like 3, 4, 5% the size of a movie theater. Do you have like a $10,000 surround sound system? Plus, it's using your fucking internet that you pay for. I don't even really know what the cost of them is other than licensing fees. They literally just have it hosted on their website and you stream it using your fucking internet. You stream it using your internet, and yeah, like I said, you have to pay for it. And it's substantially more money for an inferior product. And I mean, I've seen more expensive ones than this. I've seen some that are like $30. So they charge you twice as much for an inferior product. And like $25 is how much buying a new movie is, which I think is too much money, but that's a topic for another day. So you have to pay twice as much money for a worse experience, and you don't even own it. And I mean, I just like the experience, regardless of all that, of going to a theater, getting out of the house, going there, looking at all the like the new posters, watching the trailers, getting some of that awesome theater popcorn. It's just something I like to do. And it's just like you have to do it yourself. Just fuck you. You have to do that or buy one of our shitty, overpriced streaming services that aren't even like available. And you have all this like region locked nonsense, like where some shit's available in America and some's available in Canada. I think I remember when Glass was coming out, the Split was available in British Netflix, but not Canadian or American Netflix. And they like rotate the. It's just such shit. I think there's time periods where there's like major movies that aren't on any platform. So it's like, give us money for this shitty product, and I just don't want to do it. So I, in a completely 100% legal manner, have obtained a copy of this movie, so I'm gonna watch it, and I'll do a review of it soon. But it's such shit. It's such shit.